I swear this has gotta be the most pain I've dealt with. I can't even call Mocha a DOG because she's not to me. She's my child. She's gone. I don't even know how to function. My whole life, for 13 years, has revolved around Mocha. Honestly. They were actually, my older kids were actually jealous of my dog. Like, they had already grown up, moved away. Just love my baby. I want her back. She just started having seizures, and then I rushed to a hospital, and the vet said she had a brain tumor. So they had to put her down. I swear to God, this just happened Thursday night. I keep thinking it was Friday. On a Friday, but it was Thursday. Me and my son just happened to be off work by the grace of God, and we ran and got some food and come back. And I knew that day I had actually changed my whole schedule of work because I just had a feeling. So I've been working nights and my son worked days. That way she was never left alone. But we left for a minute to get food and come back, and as Mocha always wanted my food, but she was like pouring drooling, and I yelled for my son. I'm like, something's wrong with Mocha. He's like, she just wants your food, Mom. I said, no, look, the whole bed is soaked, JP. I said, there's something wrong. And then probably 5 minutes after that, she went into a seizure. And I called 911. I was freaking out. JP got her breathing. And then we rushed her to the hospital. It was 30 fucking minutes away. So much traffic. And we had to drive to Savannah. And she went to go into seizure, but God knew I couldn't handle her or whatever's up there. And some people don't believe in God, whatever. But, so she went to go into seizure. You know, my son was driving, and I was in the back seat with her, and then she stopped. But as soon as I got out of the car, we pulled up at the hospital to run and get some people to come help us get her in. She was having another seizure when I got back to the car, and then they got her in, and this wonderful lady come running from, I don't know, somewhere, and she helped, because it took 4 or 5 of them, you know, to get her in on a gurney, because it was so high. And I was like, if she hits that concrete, I swear to God, I'm going to freak out. Because she was seasoned, and they got her in, and they brought her, they took us in like this room, and it was just like a person. They took us in a quiet private room, and then they come in with the paperwork, and like, do you want us to put her down? And they brought her in one last time. They sedated her with some pain meds, but she still, when I touched her, she calmed down and says, Mama, and she got so calm. But she was already kind of stiffened, but she was still alive. And then she went to go into seizure again. So they had to take her out, of course, and then they come back and said she was gone. It's happened so fast. Like, you just don't want to leave the hospital, you know? And then you walk in the house and you're like, are you serious? Like, it's so fast. And I was so worried about his money, you know? Like, I just want my baby. And she's getting cremated. And I got her feet print. They made that for me. And Mocha's worth way more. I don't even care. It's probably like $400, but she's worth so much more anyways. So that's the story if anybody wants to know what happened to Mocha. So I guess she had a brain tumor. And she's been acting really strange, going blind and stuff. But she'll just be normal Mocha, So we thought, my son's thought, Mom, we got at least 4 or 5 more years. Don't worry, she's not going nowhere. I can see it in her eyes. She's been keeping me up all night, like completely all night for weeks. And I would just stay up with her and love on her because I knew she was trying to tell me. And I'm so happy that I stayed up with my baby all night. And I didn't even work for weeks. I just started going back to work because I didn't want to leave her. So I found a night job, and but I'm home by 12 or 1, so my son would be with her until I got home. She's a mama's girl. She's my ride or die. That's the last thing I told her. I said, Mom, you're supposed to be my ride or die. And then she went in that last seizure and they took her. And that's the story of my baby. And it's just not the same. I'm always used to Mocha. Just right here. And if you go through my lives, you always hear her or see her. She's always knocking the phone out my hand. She hated this phone. She hated my phone. But the last video I made on Facebook on the way to the hospital, she looked into the phone. She gave me a kiss. This is the first time she's ever actually looked at her phone. But I know some people understand, and some people are probably like, oh, it's just a DOG, but it's not to me. Everybody used to say I gave birth to Mocha, but that's the bond we had, and I've had her for so long. I think she was 5 or 6 weeks. They said she was a little older, 8 weeks, but I know she wasn't. She was younger than that. I could just tell, but I didn't care. Like, we just bonded. My baby's fine. And this sucks. So, everybody, just love on your babies. You just never know. And I mean, that goes with your children, too. I love my kids to death. And next to my kids would have been my Mocha. But we were so close. I don't know what to do without her. Like, everything's about Mocha. Setting the lights at night. And just everything revolves around that dog in my life. Now I'm calling her a dog. She's really not. She had so human-like. And she just was telling me she loved me so much. Dog talk. And I guess she was trying to tell me she was getting ready to go. And I knew it. Alright, guys. Thank you for the support. The ones that have been supportive, I really appreciate it. My life will never be the same.